It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds. You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility. He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots. He promises he'll be there for you. Just come talk to him beneath the tree if you're feeling lost. Out of Date says there's a time for everything, and now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone. Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things. If you continue to do good, good will follow you. If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark. Two sides to everything, but for him it would be devastating if you were forced to use the Ark to escape while the world crumbled. Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees. He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core. The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate. He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head. It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real. He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground. The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out. The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end. He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark, in the event of a cataclysm. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Goop in the southeast. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Goop. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Goop and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That's the sound of impending doom. Out-of-date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The porcupine needs to be handled. Out-of-date says that Goop is worried now that the Southeast World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Goop is working on a goo-gliding vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done. Out-of-date suggests that you should head southeast as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He wonders what's on your mind. Has plenty to do, so no worries. Try to be friends with the beast. Yeah, the future is in your hands, so take care of it. Hey, tough guy. That there's Subnautica Station. Goop flounders around in there. Just makes you want to lie down on the sand. Let's see.
Langu. Adzitawa. Manlo fitness.
Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim.
Bauta sare dunlokuana.
Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance.
Fishni orchidic.
Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only together we can remember the story as it was.
Bauta sare dunlokuana.
He knows he's easy to remember. There's no one out there as cuckoo as him. He's one of a kind.
Titutuata.
He understands you've returned to face Lupa Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years.
Vadivi.
He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child.
Vadivi.
Now the time has come for you to remember and act. Your life is your life, not the story you're told about it.
Convoga.
He understands why you seek revenge, but he doesn't think you realize how that'll make you feel once you claimed it.
Bam! The dark wins again. Right? Right?
You're always going to stumble with the dark.
Don't doubt the dark.
It's okay if I curse the dark just this once, isn't it?
I'm just glad to be on the winning side.
Wanapta patkup.
Can hardly believe the world is going to make it. Wonders what that's going to do to the goo.
Tirami.
Thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf.
Kawaida.
Thinks the Myriad made a good match with you. You're both like sunshine on the surf.
Wingi.
But hey, back to the goo.
Azitawa.
Knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that'll move you forward. You need to set the past aside, at least for now.
Lavidivani.
He can't leave the Subnautica station, as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his suit. So you must salvage enough scrap to fix up his goo glide, starting with the old wreck box outside.
Lavidivani.
You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the Porky Puff.
Avanya.
You're lucky that way. There's still cargo left on the shores from before the apocalypse. His best guess is a tower tanker hit a reef and went under. Ride like the wind. The night time is the right time. I don't think you could make a home here. Microwave. Listen. That's going to leave a mark. Hardly seemed fair. Well placed. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect this had on the evolution of wildlife was, as we know now, the only reason we came to exist. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework.
Mukamme. Sairuja. Rapiki.
He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out.
Zurakia.
There's debris floating around on the surf that might be blocking your path or needs to be towed. That means you'll need a device so you can get it out of your way.
Awali.
Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive porky puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position.
Lamdi Osnitna.
The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surf archipelago and knows where the quacks like to float.
Lamdi Osnitna.
This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks.
Tultua.
He's not sure, but the quacks are probably a leftover from a cargo surfer that went under in the olden days. The squeaky material must have made them surface when their box broke. A moon could make this a hunter's night. E-waste, the stuff you need. You're poking around Pokbur, a prime village. Let's see. Says the tribe's Sifu sent them here to help defend against the rival tribe that's been terrorizing their village. Isn't sure how long the village will last if it continues. As if the plague ruining the land and destroying the crops wasn't enough to bring the village to its knees already. It's troubling that the rivals believe their reign of terror is actually going to lead to a better world. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Figures the Myriad would outshine the Netra in any fight. Heard you met the Old One himself. What a character he is. Says goodbye to you. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. They need your protection and help to restore their village. The Sifu asked you to help, and that's what you must do. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. Ah, that wood scrap seems like it would be perfect for your plans. Best part of this ride is it runs on green stuff. This here is the Sinky Dink, home of Gulp, at the very least. He's pretty sure he's heard of you before, although the details are maybe a little hazy. He wonders... Guesses he does, but it's a long life in a wild world. Sometimes he's shaken, not stirred. Says you look like you've got a powerful thirst to do something in this world. Good, bad, not really sure, but it seems like you've been drinking in your destiny and liking the flavour. Wonders if you could take the time to help a man slake his own thirst. You'd be doing him a liquid solid. You're a do-gooder, so you know you want to. Either way, he hopes you find a way to wet your whistle before the world comes to an awful dry end and leaves us all thirsting for more. Says life's like a mystery drink. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's awful. But either way, you can't stop drinking till you're dead. Sure, that's the point. But you can't stop trying new ones, or life gets dull. Wants to raise a glass to you getting the world fixed up a bit. Respects how you always try to help, no matter that the world's fate is hard to swallow. Sees why you joined up with the Myriad. They like a peaceful drink, just like you. Says he sells them drinks. They mostly suck them down on their own. But who cares about them? Says you'd be as bummed out as him if you came for the hot stuff. The Glugmocker, Nimhimbibble, and his favourite radium syrup. That one's even more intoxicating now, aged in truck tankers and all. Without a drink, and radium syrup especially, he can't move, much less think. as the power of his mind is directly proportioned to the quantity of syrup he swigs. That's why he's called Gulp. The drink helps him forget the state the world is in, but it only lasts until tomorrow. The world is still doomed, even if the sun goes up. Says that's what gives your internals such a great glow. He wants you to know he has other interests, too. He's the Surfipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example. There are other ways than a cold drink to relieve stress, even in these dark times, and, fortunately for you, he can help. Watching Pippi's flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you can look at and touch, like quacks. Squeezing them is a great way to relax. They're better at floating than flapping, so you should be able to net a few without growing yourself a pair of wings. Let's see. Knowing there is a beach out there somewhere doesn't mean you need to take a dip.